when you look at Scottie Scheffler, and Mark mentioned it, 3 balls in the water on Friday and Saturday. And this comes back to why I felt like there was a fatigue factor going on. And I think that, you could hear that and go, okay, who cares? The players are tired. It's a long season. They're going through a long stretch. There's a lot going on. Well, you've got the Masters right around the corner. So it is a question. Can you get the rest to be ready for the Masters? Let's take a look at what Scottie Scheffler did. In round 1, he shoots at 65. And throughout the course of the week, there were things that he did statistically when you compare him to the rest of the field that were anomalies, but he's so good, he overcomes it in different parts. Fair enough. We see that from great players. In round 1, he was tied for 70th in greens and regulation. Does that surprise you? With a guy that's number 1 in strokes gained approach, right? In the second round, he shoots a 70, right? Level par. So he's 5 under for the tournament. He has 5 birdies, 3 bogeys, and that's what he double bogeys 18. It just looked like that flash of a lack of focus, right? Even though he almost made it from that bunker, in fairness. Round 3, he shoots a 66, 4 under. On paper, great round. He gets to 9 under. He has 8 birdies on his card. Are you kidding me? 2 bogeys, and again, a double bogey. Now, you could look at that and go, well, wait a minute. The double that he had on 15, he had a beautiful shot on 15. It was the toughest hole of the day, all of 121 yards. Heard me correctly. 121-yard hole was the toughest hole of the day, this 15th, which I thought was beautiful. I really liked this golf course. I particularly liked the par 3s. There were 3 birdies all day at 15. Every one of them came from behind the hole. So when DP, Dennis Paulson, and I were talking about it, kind of debating about it, he was like, no, he hit a great shot. He hit a great shot. He hit a great shot in 15. I was like, Dennis, where did the birdies come from? All came from behind the hole. Now, granted, there was only 3, so it was a small sample size. And so then Dennis conceded. He said, well, maybe he didn't hit it just past the flag or to the flag. He was trying to, came up in front, and when it hit with spin, it spun down the green, down the hill, into the water, into, as they say, the penalty area. Right? To that, which was what I was getting at, which was to say, well, then it wasn't a great shot if hitting in that area could spin it down into the water. And the criteria for that for me is, 1, obviously it was in the wrong area, or he didn't control the spin, which is very hard to do with a high lofted club, which means he had to hit it behind the hole and try to spin it down to the hole versus hitting it in front of the hole, and the spin doomed him. Yeah, all I'm saying is I'm not criticizing that one shot. Things happen. It's a long round. There's a lot of shots hit. It just it once again showed me what I thought I was seeing all week, which was a Scottie Scheffler that seemed a little bit mentally tired to me. He's 27 years old. Physically, I think he's fine, right? These young guys. But I just thought that it seemed like there was a little bit of a waver in the mental focus. Interestingly enough, in round 3, strokes gained putting, we're talking about Scottie Scheffler here, right? Which is where all the alarms are going to go up about Scottie Scheffler. Oh, was it an anomaly? He had a couple good putting weeks, and it's really, he was 7th in strokes gained putting. 7th. And then in the final round, he shoots a 68, 2 under, 11 under. We know how close he came. We know the opportunities that he had. He had 4 birdies and 2 bogeys. It was tough scoring. First of all, the golf course is tough. It's well designed. Tom Doak and Brooks Koepka contributing, Brooks. And the green complexes have this kind of, I don't know, I saw parts that remind me of like Rayner and parts that remind me of Ross. The property is relatively flat, but they did these raised green complexes. You really could see it around, like I said, the par 3s. But getting back to Scottie, strokes gained putting, he was 72nd in that round. So a flow and ebb. I didn't mention to you in terms of the underscore, the flow and ebb. In the second round, when he shot that even par 70, he was 128th in the field in strokes gained putting. Right? So it comes and goes. Okay, even that isn't that bad. It goes back to this thing that we're always talking about. That if you look at, I believe we're in an era right now where it's ball striking for dough and putt for show. I know that sounds ridiculous because it's a complete opposite of what it was. But if you look at all the top performers throughout the season, including Scottie Scheffler, their putting prowess is fair at best and usually not even average. But their ball striking is so exceptional, they overcome it. Strokes gained putting, second round, he was tied for 128th in the field. Then the third round, he's 7th. And in the final round, he's 72nd. So from that standpoint, and I was one of those that was, I don't know if the word is suspicious, but with what he did at the Arnold Palmer Invitation, with what he did at the Players, using the new mallet putter, I was like, yeah, but great players have flashes with a putter, and when they flash with the putter, they do things that seemingly are unbeatable, that phrase that starts to get used, right? And so this one, my sense is, as I mentioned, that there was a little bit, that Scottie was a little bit tired after the run he's been on, and it crept into his game in different areas. The brilliance of who he is and what he can do sustained him, obviously. He came right down to 2 putts on the final 2 holes that he had to put himself, into a playoff, which, honestly, how many of you didn't expect him to do it? I thought it was going to happen. I was smelling playoff the whole way. But I guess the bigger picture with this is to say, what can it mean? What might it mean as we head to the Masters? Andrew, put those odds up for the Masters just for a second. You can see Scottie Scheffler. Jay Croucher was telling me this last week up at NBC Sports for Golf Central, Golf Channel. And Scottie had been 9-1. And, of course, he did what he did, and they cut him down to 4.5-1. Which is pretty incredible that we're talking about an era right now. You see Tiger and Phil down the bottom. How could Tiger be 100-1 and Phil be 300-1? It's the first time I really looked at that. I don't even say in the middle of a sentence, and that jarred me. So it just doesn't. We'll get into that more as we continue to progress here as well. So what I want to start with here is hearing from Scottie Scheffler. This was after he finished up. And let's get an assessment from he who came so close, 1 shot behind.
I didn't think it was going to move very much, and I tried to hit it straight, and I felt like I started right in the middle, and looked like it broke off pretty hard. So just a misread, sadly. Yeah, I mean, I put up a good fight. I felt like I had some weird breaks this week, and then that's kind of the thing is like. It's tough to describe, but I'm obviously a bit disappointed. I hit 2 or 3 really good shots into 18 to give myself a chance, and I felt like I made the putt, and then I looked up and it was breaking off. So a bit disappointing, but Stephen played great this week, and he's a deserving champion. Yeah, another good week. I gave myself a chance, to win the tournament, and that was. That's where I want to be at the beginning of the week, and today was fun. Obviously I wish it would have ended a little differently, but I hit what I felt like was a lot of good putts there at the end. I just couldn't get one to go in. I'll move on as quickly as possible. Obviously I'm a bit disappointed right now, but at the end of the day, it would be one thing if I pulled it or something like that. I just misread it. I don't know why I misread it, but that happens. It's part of the game. Maybe I could have hit it with some more speed, but I felt like I hit a nice putt. Kind of how I wanted to, and I just didn't go in. No, I'll head in Sunday like I normally do, play practice on Sunday, and then just, kind of gradually get into the week, get prepared, and, definitely get some rest. I'm pretty beat right now after another long week.
Definitely get some rest. I'm pretty beat right now from Scottie Scheffler. But what I did like, and this is where I think it kind of puts to rest the thought that some people may have that, maybe the putter turned back into a pumpkin again. I don't think that's the case. I mean, he put a really good putt on it on 17, which at the time was the hole that I was covering. That's why I keep going back there. And 18, you just heard him say, he just misread it. He struck the putt the way he wanted to. He just misread it. It's different. It's different than when one of these players looks at a line, knows exactly what they want to do, sometimes exactly what they need to do, and the ball goes off and some direction that was not what they had intended or were trying to do at all. Really different when a player tells you they misread it, which usually aggravates them even more, incidentally, when they put a good stroke on it and they misread it.